Hi, this is Mark from Skywagon University. Quick opportunity to do a video on what a float kit is on a 206. Now, we did another video which is 10 videos ago in our library of 180 videos that we've done of what is a float kit, and the plane I used as a subject was a 185. And everybody some people think that a float kit is the floats. It isn't, and we had to clear up that myth on the 185. 80% of 185s have float kits, the ability to be put on floats. 10% of 206s have float kits. This is a 206, a 79. It has a float kit. Where are they? It isn't the floats, it's the ability to be put on floats, and it's a big deal on a 206. So we're going to go over what it's got, and if you want to know about the 185 float kit, look at the 185 video, because this will be particular to this plane. Okay, just the minor stuff, like on the 185, is the V-brace. A V-brace does not always mean there's a float kit, because you could put a V-brace in a non-float kitted plane and people would think it had a float kit, but generally, if you see a Cessna 206 or a 185 on floats, it has the V-brace. That is removable. There's bolts at either end and it can be stowed. So, V-brace in the front. Big action at the back. Let's have a look. So, just like on a 185, the 206 has corrosion proofing, zinc chromate inside the fuselage, all through the wings and tail, factory. It has the lifting rings on top of the wings for lifting it up in the air when you're dangling it from the hangar to put the floats under it. And it has stainless steel cables in it. That's the same as in the 185. But the big difference on a 206 is the rudder. I mean, you can see this sticks out, a foot further than it would normally on a tail cone. This tail cone is like 3 feet long. The rudder is huge. See this rivet line? The normal rudder ends there. And if you look up top, there's a massive amount of counterweight above the vertical fin. So this rudder, just used lying on the floor in a hangar second-hand, is about $10,000 to $15,000. But float-kitted 206s have the big rudder on them. And that's a very significant difference. And just to put it into perspective, so you think, how big is it? I've got a Cessna 205 right here, which essentially is a 206 in many ways. We'll look at its rudder in comparison. So just remember this distance and that height. So here we are at the tail of a 205. So just a quick aside, if you want to know the differences between a 205 and a 206, there's another video about that where we have one of each. But basically a 205 is a 206 fuselage with 182 wings and tail on it and an injected 470 in it, and they only made them from 63 and 64, 2 years. 206 came out in 64, 205s were dropped. But it looks so much like a 206 I'm using as a comparison because its tail will show us the difference. See the tail cone? It's almost flush with the tips of the elevators. So the float-kitted 206 is here, pretty much. And then look up top. There's a little counterweight that doesn't even go on, the beacon is up there, doesn't even go above that. So small rudder, small tail cone, and so if you see that big rudder on a 206, that's a float-kitted plane. Very rare, 10% of them have it. I had a customer who called me up and they said, can you put XYZ plane on floats? And I said, it doesn't have a float kit. No, I want you to buy the floats and put them on it. I said, no, but it doesn't have a float kit. So I had to explain to them the floats are not the float kit. The floats are floats, and the float kit is the attaching and ability for it to be put on it. Like this plane has no float kit, could never go on floats. So the big difference on a 206 is that rudder. So this is Mark at Skywagon University. Thanks very much for watching. It was just a quick video to show the differences between a 185's float kit and a 206's float kit, because these are few and far between, hard to find. So it was a good opportunity to look at the details of what's involved with that. We also do a podcast, you might have seen that on there, where we have a cup of chairs and a cup of coffee and we invite people in to tell us their story. And it doesn't matter if it's a story about being an astronaut or a student. It's just an interesting conversation in aviation. And anybody who's got a story, contact me on email and see whether we want to have you come over and do a chat. And we also have the ability to do it remotely on Zoom. Yet to see how that works, but we can do it. So if you live in Illinois and you can't get to Placerville, we can do it remotely. Otherwise, we've got the little studio in there that we've used so far. So get in touch with that, and then subscribe. We're getting the subscriptions up and the little bell for notifications. and we'll keep these coming. We've got a Cessna 120 we're just about to do a plane review on, and other ones coming down the line. So thanks very much for watching.